teaching learning session of Indian Economy 1 BECE 145. Today's topic is development paradigms. Development paradigms explain the different approaches of development. In last session, we have discussed about Indian economy situation on the eve of independence. Now today we will discuss about development approaches or development paradigms. How we can achieve economic development and what is the meaning of development, what are the approaches of development and what type of development exist in India. So there are different types of approaches of development. Here we are thinking in general terms here, but it is worth remembering key geographical concept of scale and place. Different approaches to development are given by different scale and places. So here we will discuss the different approaches of development. There are so many approaches of development like market-led development approach. Second approach is state-led development approach. Third is inclusive growth strategy. And fourth is sustainable development approach. So there are so many approaches of development and we will explain in detail all these approaches. Here, if we want to achieve sustained growth, what is the meaning of sustained growth? Sustained growth means continuous growth, or if we are achieving higher growth rate of economic development in a longer time period, that will be called sustained growth. Growth has so many concepts like sustained growth. In this, economic reforms may increase and equity or equitable distribution of income and wealth also increases. Green growth may also improve sustainability. If we plant more trees and if we don't cut forest or if we protect our nature, then we can achieve green growth, which may improve sustainability. Social policies may increase efficiency. If government make those type of social policies which increase the efficiency of the country people, it will also included in the development approach. And environmentally sustainable social policies are also called development approaches. So green economy, green growth may boost innovation. Social policies can enhance inclusiveness. Poor people are the most hurt by environmental degradation. If in our country environmental is degraded and national income is increasing, per capita income is increasing, but inequalities of income and wealth is also increasing, rich becomes more richer and poor becomes more poorer, then we can't say that we are achieving higher economic development. Economic development can be achieved with the help of increasing in real national income, increasing in per capita income, and increasing in social welfare also. If social welfare increases, besides national income and per capita income increase, then economic development will definitely increase. So sustainable development, economic growth, economic development, these are different approaches to development. We will explain in detail. And here go social cohesion, and social cohesion include social policies which increases efficiency, knowledge, and environmentally sustainable social policies also helps in achieving the sustainable development. Here there are so many factors affects our economy. There are so many factors like natural factors affects economy, growth and development. Economic factor also affects economic growth and development. Social factors also affects economic growth and development, and political factors also affects economic growth and development. Economic factors which are related with jobs, income, or money. The concept which is related with money or income, that is called economic factor, and economic factor is very much affect the economic development. If jobs increases, income level of the country people increases, then we can say that our economy is growing. In natural factors, if all living things, resources, and life support system increases, then our economy, if our economy protect the environmental condition, and if our environmental condition is upgraded, not degraded, and then we can achieve sustainable development or higher economic development. Political policies also affects the economic growth and development. Politics, if our economies, politics is clean and without any corruption, if government make those decisions which are very helpful in the increase in national income or which are very helpful for the country people growth and development, that will definitely increase the efficiency of the country and the growth of the economy also. And social factor also affects the economic growth. People living together, social factors are related with if people are living together, because social means society, and society is made by the combination of whole country people in which consumers and producers all are included. If all the country people live together without any rights and communal rights or without any disputes, then we can say that our economy is growing. So, all these factors like social factors, economic factors, natural factors, and political factors affects economic growth and development. Next is what is the meaning of economic growth and what is the meaning of economic development? Is both concepts are interrelated or both are different from each other? What is the meaning of these two concepts, economic growth and economic development? Generally, we say that both concepts are interlinked or interrelated with each other. You can't have one concept without the other. Economic growth means increase in national income and increase in per capita income. Generally, economic growth increases the capacity of economy to produce more goods and services. Economic development is different concept than economic growth. Economic development is a broader concept or wider concept because it refers to the sustained actions of policymakers that promote the standard of living and economic health of a country. Economic growth is related with developed countries. Developed countries are those countries in which national income remains always higher, Per capita income remains always higher. Standard of living of the country people also higher. Unemployment is lower. Poverty rate is lower. Literacy rate is higher. Less corruption exists in the economy. That economy is called, and strong infrastructure, higher development in industrial sector, higher development in service sector, if exists, that economy is called developed economy. And economic growth concept is related with developed nations like USA, Canada, Japan, etc. Economic development concept is related with developing countries. Developing countries like India, China, Pakistan, all these nations are developing nations. Economic development refers to the increase in national income, increase in per capita income, and increase in social welfare. If our economy is achieving all these three things, then we can say that our economy is developing. Economic development includes economic growth and other factors also, like institutional factors, technical factors, and structural factors. If we include three types of changes: institutional change, technological change, and structural change in economic growth concept, then we can get economic development. If national income is increasing, per capita income increasing, mortality rate of the country is falling, inequalities of income and wealth is falling, literacy rate is increasing, then we can say that our economy is achieving social welfare. So if social welfare is increasing, besides increase in national income and per capita income, then economic development concept will be fulfilled or appropriately defined. So economic development and economic growth both are interlinked with each other, but both have some differences also. Mrs. Ursula Hicks Bolding, Professor Bolding, make the difference between economic growth and economic development. Now, what is the difference between economic growth and development? This is the difference. First is economic development. The main basic feature of economic development is to rise in national income and improve human being social welfare or overall living standard of the country people. And economic growth term is only concerned with raising income level and volume of production. Not the This concept is not related with human beings' welfare. Economic development is the main issue under modern economics. But economic growth is the key issue under traditional economics. So, economic growth is the key issue of traditional economics, but economic development is the main issue of modern economics. According to various economists, economic development refers to the qualitative approach. Or we can say that economic development is related with both approaches, qualitative as well as quantitative. But economic growth is related with only quantitative approach, not qualitative. What is qualitative and quantitative approach? Quantitative approach tells us that if only national income increases and per capita income increases, then we can say that our economy is achieving economic growth, higher economic growth. But qualitative approach tells us that living standard of the country people is increasing also. inequalities of income and wealth is decreasing, infant mortality rate is decreasing, and social welfare of the country people is increasing, literacy rate is increasing. That is called qualitative approach, which tells us the quality of the country people, how quality of the country people is increasing due to increasing economic growth. If we study the after effects of economic growth or aftermaths of the economic growth, then we can say that economic development is achieving, or we can say that economic development rate is higher in our country. So, economic development and economic growth both are different concepts, but both are interlinked also, interrelated with each other also. Economic growth is a narrow concept, economic development is a broader concept. Economic growth is related with developed countries, economic development is related with developing nations. Economic growth studies only quantitative aspects of the economy, like increase in national income and increase in per capita income. But economic development studies all the aspects of the economy, like qualitative as well as quantitative, in which we include increase in national income, increase in per capita income, and increase in social welfare. Economic development includes economic growth plus three changes. One is technological change, second is institutional change, which is related with land reform system, and third is structural change, which is related with infrastructural facilities. If infrastructural facilities improve in the economy, if institutional reforms exist in the economy, like consolidation of land holdings and abolition of jamidari system, rent regulation, and ceilings of land holdings, cooperative farming exist in the economy, then farmers will motivate to produce more crops, and their standard of living will also increase. If we these institutional changes include in economic growth, then we can achieve economic development. And technological change is related with technical advancement, technical upgradation, technical modernization. If we use modern technologies, if technology is upgraded, then definitely production or output level will increase, and increase in output level will definitely increase employment opportunities and decrease the inequalities of income and wealth in the economy. So economic development include economic growth plus three changes: structural change, one is structural change, technological change, and institutional changes. If all these changes are included in economic growth, then we can get economic development. And if we deduct these three changes from economic development concept, then we can get economic growth concept. Next is different approaches of development. What are the different approaches of development? As I have discussed with you that there are four approaches of development. First is market based strategic planning, or we can say that market led development approach. Second approach is state led development approach. Third is inclusive growth strategy. And fourth is sustainable development approach. So there are four types of approaches of development, in which this is the first approach, which is market based strategic planning. What is this market based strategic planning? A process and structured approach. This is, it provides a starting point for businesses and marketing plan development. It explores how a business can best compete in the market it elects to serve. It encourages an unbiased assessments of internal core competencies and external opportunities, and it enables companies to position services and develop new products in a favorable fashion, making them easier for customer to buy. It is clear from its name, it is market based strategy. It means it is based on demand and supply. As you know that equilibrium price is determined through the forces of demand and supply curve, where demand curve and supply curve intersect each other. Equilibrium price is determined, and that equilibrium price, we can sell all the products on that equilibrium price, which is determined by the forces of demand and supply curve. So market led approach tells us the strategic planning through which a businesses and marketing plan can achieve the development, and then they can make higher growth in the market economy, and they can improve their competencies, they can improve their productive efficiencies, and they can develop new products according to the fashion or according to the consumer, so that consumer can buy more goods and services and they can get maximum profit. If this approach is related with demand and supply, demand is made by consumer and supply is made by producer. If producer produces those goods and services which are demanded by consumers, then market will be successful and market will achieve higher growth and development. So, market based strategic planning generally based on that process or system in which business and marketing plan can make development with the help of increasing their efficiency, increasing their competencies and external opportunities, and produce those goods which are related with consumers taste and preferences, then market can achieve success or can achieve more gains from their selling their products. Next is traditional development approaches. Traditional development approaches are: one is state led development approach. This is state led development approach is the second development approach of development. State led development is that approach in which government make plans for the development of the country and leads that development activities. Economic activities like production, consumption, investment, distribution, all these of are run by government, and government make plans or government or state led development approach, in which all the economic activities, all the uh, plans and policies regarding countries' development are made by state or government. Second is market led and product led development approach. This market led development tries to meet the need within a market. The need is already there, and the product is created specifically to meet that need. Product led development starts with the product and tries to create a need for it. For example, if producer produces goods and producer supplies goods in the market, and consumer immediately demand for those goods and services, then there will be no problem of underproduction and no problem of overproduction exist in the economy. This type of approach is called market led development approach, which is based on demand and supply forces, in which consumer always make demand for goods and services, and according to the demand of the consumer, producer produces those goods and services and sell their products to the consumer and gain maximum profit. This type of approach is called market led development approach. Next is NGO led development approach. NGO is non government organization which also contribute in development process. They directly access to people, less red tape. It means red tapeism problem is not exist in NGOs, and decentralized development activities are exist in NGOs led development approach, in which government don't interfere too much in the economic activities. Non-government organization main motive is to do social welfare and to provide more social welfare things to the country people so that the living standard of the country people can increase. So NGO led development approach, direct access to the people, less red tapeism, less corruption, less centralization of economic power exist in this system. Decentralization development activities exist in this system, and less red tapeism also exists in this system. So this system is also very good for the achievement of development. And community led development approach is well planned approach which was planned by the community or whole society. It is clear from its name, it is based on community led development. It means when whole community take decisions for the development of the country, that is called community led development approach. Next is the third approach is, now we have done two approaches. One is market led approach, development approach, and second is state led development approach. Now the third approach of development is inclusive growth approach. In what is the meaning of inclusive growth? Inclusive and exclusive, these are two different words. Inclusive growth is related with internal growth of the country. At present, India's economy is developing or India's economy is growing, but not inclusively. It only exclusively developing. Inclusive development, inclusive development mainly related with development of employment opportunities, development of agriculture production, development of social sector development, and development of equal distribution of income and wealth in the economy. It also related with environmental protection. Inclusive growth is also related with reduction in regional disparities. It also related with industrial development, and it also related with poverty alleviation. If in our economy agriculture production is increasing, industrial production is increasing, service sector is also improving, equal distribution of income and wealth is existing, and environmental protection exists in the economy, if employment generation programs launched by the government for making more employment opportunities, for providing more employment opportunities to the country people and reducing the problem of unemployment from the economy, and if employment is generated, then definitely poverty will alleviate, because employment and poverty, unemployment and poverty, these are twins problem, both are interrelated. If a person is unemployed, then definitely he will be a poor person. If a person is employed, then he will not be called a poor person. So unemployment problem create the problem of poverty, and both are twins. So if government make those plans, those strategies through which employment is generated in our country, then employment generation will alleviate or reduce the poverty problem. And if poverty reduces, then country people living standard will definitely increase. And if country people living standard increases, then economic development will also increase. So elements of inclusive growth includes all these things, in which agriculture sector must be developed. Agriculture production should also increase, industrial production should also increase, social sector should also develop, equal distribution of income and wealth also increases, environmental protection should exist, reduction in regional disparity. Regional disparity means, as we know that in India, some states are growing at a faster rate, but some states are still at present backward, like Bihar, Odisha. In these states, too much poverty exists, but some states are growing at a very faster rates like Punjab, Haryana, UP, in which Green Revolution also give great contribution in the development of agriculture production. So some states are developing, but others are not developing. These creates regional disparities. If regional disparities is reducing in our country, then inclusive growth will happen, and inclusive growth we can achieve. If industrial production increases and poverty alleviated and employment is also generated, then inclusive growth will exist. But at present, we are not achieving inclusive growth, because in India, agriculture production is not very high, industrial production is still very low, unemployment problems still exist in our country, poverty is also exist in our country, environmental is degraded, and at present environmental is polluting due to increasing industrialization. But increasing industrialization is not increasing the output level too much, but creating more pollution, more giving contribution in environmental degradation. And in India, here the gap between rich and poor is increasing, inequalities of income and wealth is increasing, regional disparity is increasing. It means we are achieving economic growth and economic development, but this type of growth is not called inclusive growth. This type of growth is called only exclusive growth, but not inclusive. Inclusive growth, if we want to achieve, then we must have to increase all these things, like agriculture production should also increase, industrial production should also increase, inequalities should reduce, and regional disparity should reduce, environmental should be protected, and employment should be generated, and poverty should be eliminated or alleviated. So these are the elements of inclusive growth. And what are the key concepts of inclusive growth and green growth? Inclusive growth involve some key points, like India adopted the theme of towards faster and more inclusive growth in its 11th five-year plan, which runs from 2007 to 2012. ADB means Asian Development Bank Frameworks for Inclusive Growth in Strategy 2020. From April 2008 to 2020, they make strategy for achieving inclusive growth. And OECD also initiative for inclusive growth, because inclusive growth development approach is very much related with the country's growth. It is a very important approach, and it is very relevant approach for the development of the country. And evolvement of green growth is UNESCAP adopted as a new growth paradigm at Asia Pacific Ministerial Conference on Environment and Development MCEDV in March 2005, and Korea adopted low carbon green growth as a long term growth vision in August 2008, and OECD adopted green growth as a new work agenda in July 2009. So these are the two concepts, inclusive growth and green growth. Inclusive growth is related with internal growth of the country, and green growth is related with environmental protection. That is very important for the country's growth and development. Next sustainable development. Fourth development approach is sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is a process in which we use all the available resources in such a manner through which our present generation needs as well as our future generation needs both can be satisfied, and no one has to compromise or no one has to sacrifice. If we are satisfying both generation needs, present generation as well as future generation, then we can say that we are achieving sustainable development. Here, so many sustainable development goals are set by world or different nations. Sustainable development first goal is that if in a country there is no existence of poverty, that country will be called developed country. If there is no poverty, what is poverty? Poverty means when a person is not able to fulfill their basic needs, basic requirements like food, cloth, shelter, education, health, sanitation. These three things, first three things are important: food, clothes, shelter. But at present, if a person is not able to fulfill six needs, which are called basic requirements, basic needs, or minimum needs for survival, like food, clothes, shelter, education, health, and sanitation. If a person is not able to fulfill these requirements, that person will be called poor. If poverty exists in the economy, that will be not called developed country or developing country. So no poverty should be exist, and this is the first goal of sustainable development. Second goal is zero hunger. It means no starvation, no hunger exist in the economy. All people are able to satisfy their basic needs. All people are able to earn their living for survival. It means zero hunger. If exist in the economy, then we can say that sustainable development is achieving. Third is good health and well-being. Country people health should be good, and that their living standard should be higher than sustainable development can achieve. Fourth is quality education. Education should be qualitative, not only quantitative. If we have taken so many degrees, but there is no value if we don't have moral values, if we don't have the qualitative education, if we don't know how to protect our economy, how to make living standard of the country people higher, how to make people happy in life, then that type of education is not called qualitative education. So education must be qualitative, not only quantitative. Fifth is gender equality. Gender equality should also exist in the economy. There should be no difference between male and female. and all people are same and all people have same capacity and all people are able to work efficiently, either they are male or female, if there is gender equality exists in the economy, then we can say that we are achieving sustainable development. Sixth is clean water and sanitation. Clean water and sanitation should also available for all the country people, then sustainable development can be achieved. Next is affordable and clean energy. Energy should be available for all and affordable at affordable price. All people can afford and clean energy which don't pollute the environment, then that will be called sustainable development. Eighth is decent work and economic growth. If there is decent work and economic growth is existing in the country, then we can say that sustainable development can achieve. Ninth is industry innovation and infrastructural development. If industry is improving and increasing and innovation and research and development also existing in the economy, infrastructural development also exists in the economy, government is doing efforts for the development of infrastructure facilities, industrial development, more government is spending more money on research and development for innovations, then sustainable development target can be achieved. 10th is reduced inequality. Reduced inequality means if there is inequality of the country people is reducing, if all country people are in equal of income and all country people have same higher standard of living, then sustainable development goal can be achieved. Next is 11th is sustainable cities and communities. All communities and all cities should be sustainable, in which resources should be used in such a manner uh, from which we can satisfy all the requirements of the country people as present generation as well as future generation. If both the needs can be fully satisfied without compromising or without sacrificing any one of the need, then we can achieve sustainable development. 12th point is responsible consumption and production. Consumption and production should be responsible. Producer produce goods and services for consumer and consumer also consumes goods which are produced by the producer, then both can achieve their goals and economy will be developing and economy can achieve sustainable development. Next is climatic action. Climate should be clean. If our climate should be clean and less polluted, then sustainable development target can be achieved. Next is life below water. The life below water means all living things which are living underwater, they should also be protected, then sustainable development can be achieved. 15th is life on land. The people, the animals who are living on land, they should also be protected and they should also be conservative, then sustainable development can be achieved. 16th point is peace, justice, and strong institution. In each and every country, peace, justice should also exist for the achievement of sustainable development. 17th point is partnership for the goals. All countries should cooperate and all countries should encourage for the participation for achieving these goals, then all countries can achieve sustainable development. So these are the sustainable development goals, which are 17 goals. If each and every country achieve all these goals, then they can say that they are achieving higher sustainable development. So sustainable development approach is very important approach. At present, we are increasing national income per capita income, but not achieving sustainable development. We are exploiting our natural resources. We are exploiting our human resources and all the available resources in our country in such a manner only present generation need can be satisfied, but future generation need can't be satisfied. If future generation will suffer and present generation can live happily, or present generation can use all the available resources rapidly, then future generation can't be protected or can't be able to use all these resources. In this case, sustainable development will not be achieved. So we have to focus on these sustainable development goals for rapid growth in our country. Next is sustainable development means the capacity to continue into the distant future. There should be an action, a time dimension, and the level of action should not decrease. Sustainable development concept is that concept which present the economic development. At present, economic development is not sustainable. If our economic growth is 8.7 or 9% or 7%, that is called only economic growth or economic development, but not will be called sustainable development. Because if our environment is not protected, if environmental degradation is increasing, if pollution is increasing, and air quality is becoming more poorer, then country people can't survive for the long time period. In this case, economy is growing, economy is developing, but not achieving the target of sustainable development. So, sustainable development is a concept in which we should carefully use all the available resources for the protection of present generation needs as well as future generation needs. So, sustainable development, present type of economic development is not sustainable as it depletes natural resources and increases pollution. If continued on the same path, the earth will run out of natural resources and pollution destroy the ecology of the earth. Next is this concept of sustainable development is given by Brundtland report in 1987. The idea of limitations imposed by the state of technology and social organization on the environment's ability to meet present and future needs. Concept was developed by Brundtland report in 1987. In simple words, we can say that sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. It contains within it two key concepts. One is the concept of needs, in particular, the essential needs of the world's poor, to which overriding priority should be given. And the second is the idea of limitation imposed by the state of technology and social organization on the environment's ability to meet present and future needs. So, this is the sustainable development approach, and we should try to achieve this sustainable development approach, because if we achieve this sustainable development, then definitely all concepts of development and all approaches of development included in sustainable development approach. We have discussed here four development approaches. One is market led approach, second is state led development approach, third is inclusive development growth strategy, and fourth is sustainable development. But all inclusive growth, market led approach, and state led approach all are concerned with sustainable development. If sustainable development is achieved, it means all the approaches are included in this approach. So we should try to achieve this sustainable development. Next is economic system. What are the different types of economic system? Economic system is different than economic growth and development. There are four types of economic system exist in the economy. One is traditional economic system, second is command economic system, third is market economic system, and fourth is mixed economic system. So there are four economic system: traditional, command, market economic, and mixed economic system. First is traditional market system. What is this traditional market system? Under this traditional market system, only there are exist two sectors. One is household sector, other is firm sector. Household sector is the owner of all the factors of production like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Household provides all these factors of production to the firm sector, and firm produces goods and services with the help of these factors of production and give it to household sector. So if there is no role of money exist in the economy, if there is no role of government and rest of the world exist in the economy, that system is called traditional market system. This is also known real flow, or in which only producer and consumer exist. Consumer consumes goods and services which are produced by producer, and producer produce goods and services with the help of all factors of production and give reward to these factors of production in form of wages, interest, rent, and profit. So this is the traditional market system. Next is there are three another market systems. One is capitalism, which is known as market economy. Next is mixed economic system, in which capitalism and socialism both are included. Third is command economy, which is called socialistic system. So there are three different systems besides traditional market system. One is market economy, second is mixed economic system, and third is command economy. What is capitalism? Capitalism or market economy or free market economy or laissez-faire economy, all are same concepts. Capitalism is a system in which all the factors of productions are owned by private entrepreneurs, and there is a freedom of and there is a freedom of enterprises, there is a freedom of consumption, there is a freedom of production by the producer, and there is the main goal or main aim of the all producers are only to earn maximum profit. In capitalist economy, market forces in which demand and supply play very important role, means price mechanism play very important role to determine the price level of all the products which are produced by the producer. And market economy is that economy in which government interference or government intervention is very less. And mixed economic system is that system in which capitalism and socialism both are exist in it. In India, India's economic system is mixed economic system. Here, public sector and private sector both are coexist in it. Public sector aim is to provide social welfare, and private sector aim is to earn maximum profit. And in India, both are coexist in it. Private and public, both sectors are working together. But in USA, capitalism exists. Which system is exist in USA? Capitalist economy is USA. And command economy is that economy in which all the factors of productions are owned by the government or by the state. In command economy, government regulation or government interference or government intervention is too much exist in the command economy. And command economy, all the goods prices are fixed by the government, and government make economic policies, and all the decisions are taken by government regarding what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. If centrally planned authority planned all these decisions, that is called command economy. If price mechanism and centrally planned economy, both system are coexist in it, that system is called mixed economic system. So capitalist economy is that economy in which all the resources are owned by private industrialists, and socialist economy is that economy in which all the factors of productions are owned by government, and mixed economy is that economy in which all the factors of productions are owned by both public as well as private. So there are four economic system exist in which traditional economic system was very ancient or earlier economic system, but at present in all over the world different economic system is existing. Some economies are based on capitalism, some economies have followed mixed economic system, and some economies followed command economic system, which is called socialistic system. Economic system are basically of three types. Number one is capitalism, second is socialism, third is mixed economic system. Example of mixed economy is India, and capitalist economy example is US, Japan, and France, Sweden, and socialistic system is China, Venezuela, North Korea, and mixed economic system is India and Pakistan. So these are the examples of these three economic system. Next is global integration. What is the meaning of global integration? At present, all the economies are globalized economy. Globalization means to increase the integral relationship with rest of the world. Global integration refers to the interdependency among the countries of the world, especially within financial market and telecommunication. Telecommunications is covers the long distance communication, usually electronic, using communications satellites and fiber optic cables, and improved long distance communication has increased interdependency among many countries. This is called global integration. Next is global integration. At present, it is very important topic because at present India also adopted this globalization during 1991 economic policy or new economic policy. India adopted three main system. One is liberalization, second is privatization, and third is globalization, in which three LPG. LPG is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. And what is the meaning of globalization? Globalization means to improve or increase integral relationship with rest of the world. At present, all the economies are liberalized or opened, from which we can export and import not only for goods, we can export and import all the services, and all money can easily flow into the another nations, labor can easily move to another countries, capital can move easily, and technologies and communication system also can move to another countries. So global integration is the it refers to the emerging markets begin to play an active role in this movement since the early 1980s by initiating a gradual process of market liberalization activities. In recent years, emerging markets have accounted for about 50% of the world's economic growth. Here, some benefits and some costs are also involved in this system. Benefits are better risk diversification, technological progress, more efficient allocation of capital, and accelerating economic growth. These are the advantages or benefits of global integration. But some disadvantages also included in this system. These disadvantages are an increase in financial vulnerability due to external shocks, and disparities in commercial exchanges are the demerits or cost of the global integration. Now we can conclude of today's topic. If we want to get a deeper understanding of culture as a way of life in human functioning and development, then there is the need for a paradigm shift to focus on people's participation in cultural communities. We have so many paradigm of development, but we must have to follow that paradigm. We have to adopt that system or that approaches of development which is necessary for the development of all the countries, all the world, and which help to improve the living standard of all the country people. Now, development paradigm has been completed. Thank you so much.